Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, I can't help but smile. We're going to move away from sort of national, Holyrood, Westminster kind of politics. We are going to stick with politics, but this is identity politics. And it's affecting one of the probably most Scottish of things. Honestly, is nothing sacrosanct anymore. And we're getting into the world of Scottish country dancing. And stick with me. Yes, I'm going to say in advance, some piss will be taken. Possibly a lot, I don't know. Depends on how far it goes. But there is something a little bit insidious about it as well. And so I just wanted to introduce this. Just to get sort of a different spin on it. It's a very different video from what I normally do. But it's just something, when I saw it, I was just deeply amused. So stick with it. Give this one a chance. And if you do like it, do press like. It's fine. And if you think I am taking the piss too much, let me know. But, then I can tone it down next time I have to do something like this. But honestly, it's just a joke, really. But we're getting into the world of whirls and reels and bonhomie as we prance around in our Argyle socks doing the gay Gordons. And it's one of these where, they're trying to impose these new woke rules in the world of Scottish dancing. I kid you not. Here goes. Now, new woke rules introduced for Scottish country dancing includes no more genders. Now, you have to think about the word gender in this one because they then use something that has nothing to do with genders. It's very weird. It's because these people get very confused, of course, by, words. Because words to them are something that other people use wrongly, even though other people use them entirely correctly. They confuse gender and sex all the time. The two are not the same. Anyway, new 21st century advice for dancing going back to the 1700s, I may add. Anyway, new 21st century advice has been circulated for the Scottish tradition, including there no longer being a man's side or a woman's side. Although what that's got to do with gender, I don't know. It's merely sex, male and female. Gender is masculine and feminine. They're entirely different. You can have a masculine woman and a feminine man. Anyway, you have to apologise for when you bump into another dancer during the likes of the gay Gordons. Traditional followers... Sorry, I'm supposed to be impassive. I'm not. Traditional followers of Scottish country dancing could be left reeling, boom boom, by a modern day makeover to favourites like the gay Gordons and Strip the Willow. No longer should there be a man's side or a woman's side when you line up for your Kaylee Burl. And that's probably surprised some people, hasn't it, that I can say Kaylee. Anyway, if your preferred partner rejects your invitation to dance, their wish should be respected. Now, you've got to listen to this. This is where you see a little bit of irony coming in here, right? So if your preferred partner rejects your invitation to dance, their wish should be respected. Dancers are now reminded no one is obliged to dance with you. But here's the thing. Nobody ever was. Nobody was ever obliged to dance with you. The 21st century advice is being delivered to members of the Royal Scottish Country Dance Society. And I believe their patron is the Prince of Wales. Oh, old school. The King Charles. King Charles, I believe, is their patron. Anyway, it wants to create a safe, comfortable and inclusive place to dance for all. Where it always was, wasn't it? When was it ever unsafe, uncomfortable and uninclusive? Anyway, it has produced a new etiquette guide ahead of the arrival of hundreds of dance enthusiasts from all over the world. Tripping to... what's her name? Who was the muse of dance? Terpsichore, wasn't it? Anyway, dancers are being encouraged to explore dancing on both sides. Why? When you say encouraged, do you mean forced? Why should they? Why should they be forced to do anything they don't want to? You've just said that you aren't obliged to do anything. Anyway, and they've been warned not to make assumptions on size based on their partner's perceived gender. You mean sex. The delicate question of selecting a partner is also addressed. Now, this is where it gets complicated. So if you don't want to dance with someone, you can say, no, thank you, and you don't need to explain. You may then ask or say yes to someone else if you want to, and you can stop dancing with anyone at any time. Do you know, that's exactly what was happening before. Nobody needed that explaining. But now, apparently, you have to be patronised and talked down to and told that that's allowable now. It was always there. It was always there. Anyway, the important thing here is if you say no to someone at any time and you don't have to explain why. So imagine you, as a man, say, and a trans came up and says, "Oh, would you like to reel with me?" And you said, looked him up and down and went, "No. According to the rules, that's fine. No, thank you." And that's it. You don't have to explain. But if that trans then goes, "Oh, that's just transphobia. That's just transphobia, isn't it?" But you don't have to explain. They're the rules. No, it's not transphobia. Just don't want to dance for you because reasons. Don't have to even explain your reasons, do you? But that'll be the thing, though. Nobody wants to dance with me, will this trans be saying. None of the men want to dance with me. Well, that's because you're a man. And he can't even go, "You're a man in a skirt." Come on, everyone's wearing kilts. And the other thing is, in all this era of political correctness, why are we still calling it the gay Gordons? Isn't that a bit phobic too? And what if your name's not Gordon? Or even worse, what if your name is Gordon and you are gay? Do you know what? It's a minefield. It's a minefield out there. No wonder they're all dancing on their toes. They don't want to blow anything up, do they? It's a load of rubbish. This has been going on. This tradition is hundreds of years old. Honestly, you just couldn't make it up. Andy Stewart and Moira Anderson will be whirling in their graves at this, wouldn't they? They would. Anyway, the guide states if you don't want to dance with someone, you can say no, blah, 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 blah. If you ask someone to dance, they say, and they say no, you have to respect their decision. It's exactly the same as it was before. No one is obliged to dance with you. And so if you are, say, for example, a trans presenting as a lady and a man says no, you can't take that as phobia. That's just simply him saying no, thank you, politely, as accordance to the rules. And you've got nowhere to go with that. And if no one dances with you all night and you sit there and you think, "Well, I spent me 10 quid to come in here and I'm not even getting a quick reel," well, that's your own bloody fault, isn't it? Nobody, and you can't call anyone phobic because they're obeying the rules. It is a joke, isn't it? Anyway, the RSCDS, which has more than 9,500 members, celebrate how many? That's a lot, isn't it? Anyway, celebrates its centenary this year. Oh God, they're not going to have it at the White Heather Club, are they? No, can't do. That's closed. That's got to be. Tell me, is the actual White Heather Club closed, or was it just actually was it a real place, or was it just a TV studio? I know it ended in the end of the 60s, although it ran on because every New Year's Eve they used to say, "Oh, and it's midnight and Happy New Year," and now we're over to the White Heather Club. For years on the BBC, every New Year had to go over to. It was like the Jules Holland of the 1970s, wasn't it? Come midnight, instead of going and watching Jules Hoopmanet that we have done for the last sort of 30 years, it always used to be over to the White Heather Club, and you'd see some ladies in white dresses all prancing around, and all the guys were wearing kilts. And they were all sitting there, hey, diddly-dee. Not diddly-dee, that's the wrong lot. But you know what I mean, squeezing the octopus. And it's got to be one of the worst television programmes ever made. It really has. And yet they keep pushing it every New Year. Thank God they stopped. I think they put down Moira Anderson in the end. They couldn't get rid of her otherwise. She kept banging on the doors, please, and they wouldn't let her. And in the end, I think they took a contract out on her. Anyway, Gary Cool, chair-elect of the RSCDS, said Scottish country dancing has always been inclusive. Well, it has. And it's one of the few forms of social dancing where you don't need to turn up with a partner. No, because everyone just reels in, links arms, and away you go. We're always keen to encourage new people to join us on the dance floor and experience the joy that Scottish country dancing brings to us. Yes, I'm sure you do. And there's nothing wrong with it. If people want to do it, I don't object. I mean, this is it. I'm taking the piss, of course I am, but I don't object to people doing it. I really don't. So long as they don't force me to do it. And I have been dragged onto a floor before now, and that's why I'm like, I got an edge to it. Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. I was watching everybody else as you're doing it, because, you know, my dancing is different. And I don't mean dad dancing. I mean, heritage-wise, we do different dances. Anyway, before we want to create some guidance to ensure it's known that Scottish dancing is for everyone. But it was always for everyone. That's the point. You didn't need these stupid rules and then start dividing people by saying, oh, you can't say this, you can't do that. Because by the moment you're saying you can't do something because this person, you're being divisive. You're doing a them and us. And it's damaging. This will probably do more damage to country dancing than not doing anything at all. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, visitors to Glasgow next month will include enthusiasts from as far away as Hawaii and New Zealand. Well, there you go. But it didn't need to be said, does it? It doesn't. You don't need to tell people that you don't have to dance with anyone. You can refuse to dance with someone, or someone asks you, you can say no, yes or no. If you ask someone else, they can say yes or no. You're not obliged to do anything. But you were never obliged to do anything. That's the whole bloody point. I'm just looking at that picture, and there's a woman in the middle with a black top, if you can see it, and she's wearing what looks like more a tartan miniskirt rather than a kilt. Is she wearing how's she wearing on her back? Is she wearing a sash? Good God. Some people take it way too seriously, don't they? Anyway, I shall round off, and I shall come up. Now, before all you keyboard warriors start banging those keyboards and writing off quick little nasty little messages to me because I'm taking the piss or anything, I just want to show you this picture. And yes, that is me, looking handsome, looking smart, feeling good, looking good, and I was off for a wee jingle, waggle a leg, and listen to the wee skirl of a bagpipe. Oh, I know how to live. So you see, I do speak from experience, and I have done a wee bit of dancing. I'm not very good at it, like I say, but hey ho. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope that hasn't traumatised you, that picture of me. I've got fairly good legs though, haven't I? Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and if someone does get you up and ask you for a wee dance, never refuse. Bye.